So for most of the year, I was a James Harden guy. I was like, well, James Harden, they're at the number 3 seed. Russell Westbrook and the Thunder, they're around 6, 7, Right now I think they're at 6. But here in the last, 8 games, 7 games before the one last night, Russell Westbrook has been racking up triple-doubles.
Yes, and please, I have made a Facebook post about triple-doubles.
Did you?
Can someone explain, or can you explain what exactly is a triple-double?
A triple-double is when a basketball player reaches to double digits in 3 different categories.
Okay.
And usually they're points, rebounds, and assists.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Well, I didn't know because I'm like, how can something that's a triple be a double? So who knows? That's cool. So speaking of Oklahoma City, how do you feel about Oklahoma City? Where do you see them? Because I know a lot of people say that we're nothing without Durant, but
I'm the production director up here. I share production responsibilities with Mario, and also the sports guy for the station. Anybody need any sports hits or sports updates, I provide those also. Used to have an overnight show also, but that's in the past. The plate got too heavy, so I had to ditch something. But yeah, right now just production, man, making sure commercials and music and songs and everything sound and play right when they're supposed to. I've been here at the station about 7, 8 years, and but yeah, been in the production side of it about 5 years. To tell you the truth, I was more interested on the sports side of it. Sports radio, sports talk. Now we're going into sports podcasts now. That's really what I wanted to get into. That's really the side I wanted to get into. The music is something that I can do and something I'm a fan of course. But my main goal wanted to be the sports. Music being a close sidekick because, just getting on the mic and talking to people and, informing folks about music or any information or any happening that's going on at that time. That goes hand in hand with sports talk also, right? You need to know how to conduct yourself on the mic, period, whether we're talking sports or music or whatever. So, the music side, the radio DJ side of it, it's always been a close sidekick, but my main goal has been to get in the sports side of it. Best memory, probably be interviewing Hall of Fame greats like Floyd Mayweather Sr. We talked to Joe Carter. When we had our show, Big Boy Sports Show, we had Roy Williams in, from OU. A few Thunder players, it's been fun. It's been cool. Meeting some of the famous folks out here, man, that's always, we regular folks. So when you meet some of these greats out here that have been doing it for a long time, of course, that's always a fun and good memory to have, especially when, you trade contacts and you keep up with them and, you actually got an actual network out here you can reach out to. MS stands for multiple sclerosis. It's some kind of disease that attacks your nervous system and, affects a lot of different things, stamina, balance, strength. At least for me, it affects my stamina, my balance, my strength, walking ability, speed, all that type of stuff. Chores around the house, I can do most things, but it affects those things for me. Now, that's not the same for everybody. I was at the doctor the other day. Some people can't hear, some people, they lose their vision, they lose their hearing, they lose their ability to speak clearly. A lot of different ailments and setbacks you can get from MS. Mine are just a few, but luckily enough, at least for radio, I still got my mind, still got my brain, I still got my mouth that I can talk with, so as long as we got that, I'm all right for radio, you know what I mean? Don't ask me to climb no trees or nothing, but for radio, I'm good. The symptoms first kicked in, I noticed in 2004, a year earlier. But men being hard-headed, stubborn, I was like, I'm all right. I just need a good massage, deep massage from some Asian lady. She'll take care of me, you know what I mean? But that wasn't the case. That year went on, and it was, it kind of got worse and worse and worse. And I remember I was on my way to a Super Bowl party. It was cold outside, it was snow. And I walked outside my house, going down my steps, and walking to the car, I fall.
Oh shit. Text that one.
It was hard for me to get up. I couldn't get up. And I was freezing and getting numb and all that type of stuff. I said, you know what, okay, it's time to go. It's time to go get this looked at. So, you know, that was my humble moment where, you know, I was saying, I need to get this figured out. It sucked because I just had a kid too. My son was just born. He was just 1 year old. And I wasn't going to be able to have that normal father-son relationship. I can wrestle with him and all that, but you know, all that stuff comes to a stop at a certain point. He's too big now, you know. I can play catch and all that. He just got to run all the routes. I can't run no routes, you know. I can't climb trees with him. You know, we can't go jump fences, but we can go fish. So you got to adjust your lifestyle and stuff. I got to thank my family, my better half, and my mother, and even my kids now. You know, they understand. They were kind of hurt when they were younger, but now they older. They understand, you know. But they help me out if I need some, or you know, if some physical activity that I might not be able to do by myself, you know, they'll help me with, or we can do it together. But you know, for the most part, man, like I say, some people have it way worse than me. I can't really complain too much. You know, I'm still living, I'm still kicking. You know, so I'm all right. It sucks, but I'm all right. You know. My little girl was already, you know, born, even though she was little, and I don't know what she remembers either. Now my son, you know, he doesn't remember Dad, you know, walking on his own too at all. I want to say my little girl might, depends on what she remembers. But I don't know, hopefully they see their father, you know, not making excuses for anything and getting up every day and taking care of them and the household and coming to work and you know, and still showing up to all their events and any activities they got going on. And hopefully they can see a small piece of strength and determination in there and understand that they have it too, that they, you know, they come from these bloodlines, and if I can do it handicapped with MS, they can do anything, you know what I mean? So yeah, hopefully they see me as you know, obviously a father, a protector, a provider, all that, but also somebody that, you know, defeat those odds, or at least challenge those odds, whatever those odds may be in life, or whatever else goes on. So just hopefully my kids can look at me and be inspired by some point. Also still have that trust and belief that I can do it and take care of them and provide also, you know what I mean? I wanted to be a firefighter. I was like, all right, let's do this firefighter thing. That's fun. I'm an adventurous guy, you know. I'm an athlete. I can run upstairs and carry stuff and all that. That seems fun. But then, you know, then the MS thing kicks in, and then it switches up everything you had planned. You know what I mean? And because before MS, radio wasn't on my horizon. I wasn't thinking of radio and sports talk and all that. I was just, you know, like I said, I was trying to do the firefighter thing, and then after that, it was like, you know, I was like any young teenager, young 20-something-year-old. You just, you know, I'm just working. I'm just trying to find a job and start my life like that. But then once the MS hit, it's like, wow, I gotta find something else to do. You know what I'm saying? What can I do? Because most of my jobs were physical. You know, I wasn't really a desk guy or answering phones and stuff like that. You know, I worked at Hobby Lobby. I worked at Office Depot driving forklifts, you know. I used to work at a telecommunications company with my aunt and uncle, and I would be the gopher that'd be climbing in the ceilings and stuff. So MS kind of drove me towards radio because I had to reevaluate. I was like, well, what can I do now? You can't sit around and rely on disability. That's not enough. You know, that's certain poverty. That's what that is. You know, but so it's like, well, what can I do? What do I like? I like sports. So what, you know, how can I work that? Boom, radio. You know, and here it is. You know, here we are 8 years later, still doing my thing, and whether it's producing a commercial, production director, making a commercial, sports talk, or just radio DJ, disc jockey stuff, you know, I've learned all that right here at Perry Broadcasting. So almost in a sense, Thank you, MS.